Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria, and today's video is going to be one that I hope will be interesting for you, but it's very helpful for me. So a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, I saw McKay from Oh Hey It's McKay do a video where she went through every single physical book that she hasn't read yet. And I talk a lot about how I don't buy books very often unless I've read them. But recently, in the last couple months, have been grabbing a couple of more physical copies that I haven't read yet. And so I thought it would be cool to go through and see how many I actually have that I haven't read yet. So that's what this video is going to be. I have all of the books on my book cart. My entire book cart is full, so I have a lot more than I thought I did. So it's gonna be interesting. Also, none of the books on this video are gonna be historicals because I have a whole lot of historicals that I don't plan on reading. I love owning them. I like the covers of them. I like the step backs, but I have zero plans to read quite a lot of them, just because of the content that's in them. I have a lot of very old-fashioned ones where it's just assault after assault, and so I have a lot of those and I don't want to read those. So this video is only going to be including non-historical books. It's just so you're aware of that. But other than that, I think that's the only intro stuff that I had to do. I am just going to go through and show you all of the new ones. All the ones that I have, all the books on my physical TBR, I guess you would say. Okay, so the first one that I have that's right on top is one that I actually got in the mail today, and that is Unconditional by QB Tyler. I saw QB Tyler in Las Vegas at the book signing there, and her pre-orders got lost. And so I had pre-ordered this book, but she didn't have it with her in Vegas, so she mailed it to me and I just got it today. So I got Unconditional by QB Tyler. This one is a forbidden romance. I definitely want to read very soon. I love the ballet slippers on it. So I think it's age gap, it's forbidden. That's what QB Tyler usually is. So I'm thinking that that's what's in this book. The next one that I have is also QB Tyler. It's Love Unexpected, and this one I really honestly have no idea what it's about. But again, I'm assuming it's forbidden, probably age gap, knowing QB Tyler. So those are the first. Then I have Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. This one is a romance where they get kidnapped together, and the hero is actually the heroine's sister's fiance. But they fall in love while being kidnapped together and having to do a whole bunch of horrible things in order to survive together, and it like bonds them. This one is very popular this year. I saw Jess from Peace Love Books talk about it. I think she read it literally like in January or February, and I added it to my TBR as soon as she read it and talked about it, and I have yet to read it. And 100% sure that I'm going to read this before the end of the year, though. This is one going to read in the next month and week. Before 2022 is over, I will read this book. But I am happy I have it. I think the cover is really cool, and I got it signed by Jennifer Hartman, so that's cool. Okay, next one that I have is Reckless Memories by Catherine Cowles. This is book one in her Wrecked series, and this is the only series by Catherine Cowles that I haven't read yet, but I do own the audiobooks and hope to get to it soon. Okay, then we have a few young adult fantasy ones. We have Belladonna, which I still haven't read yet. I said that I was going to in October and I didn't get to it. So it's another one that I hope to read by the end of the year. I have The Sunbearer Trials by Aiden Thomas. This one I am waiting for the audiobook loan at my library, and I'm like 20th in line, so it's going to take at least a couple of months until I can finally read this one, because I don't want to buy the audiobook when it's at my library, but they only have one copy and it's taking forever. So that's why I haven't read this one yet. But this is young adult. Aiden Thomas wrote Cemetery Boys, which I really loved. So he writes or queer romances that are fantasy, or that they're actually YA fantasy. They usually have a little bit of romance in them. At least that's what some Cemetery Boys was. And I'm excited to read this one. I think that the cover is really beautiful and I'm excited about it. Okay, then I have another YA fantasy. And that is Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong. Words are hard. This one is about a heroine who is a assassin, I believe, or like a spy, and she is required to basically be undercover and fake date. Oh no, it's dark. She's required to be undercover and like fake dates a guy who's also a spy, and I think they fall in love. And another one that I'm waiting for the library to come in for. Okay, next one. I have The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is book 3 in the From Blood and Ash series. I loved book 1 and book 2, but I have heard that the series goes in interesting directions, or I really loved book 1 and I really loved book 2, and I loved the way that book 2 ended, and I was like, I don't want them to fuck up what my idea of what the story should be is, and so I'm like afraid to read book 3 in case it like fucks up the idea that I have in my head of what the characters should be like. And so I had planned to not continue book 3 and not continue the series, but I made a video including that in like series I'm not going to finish, and all of the comments were people being like, no, continue the series, so I might continue the series. I do own the audiobooks, so I'll at least read book 3. Okay, then we have 2 Tessa Bailey books. We have My Killer Vacation and we have Unfixable. I bought these both for a Polycon because Tessa Bailey was going to be there. I have yet to read a Tessa Bailey book. I own 3 of them, I believe, and I haven't read any of them. So there might be another Tessa Bailey book on this stack, but I haven't read any of them. This is the one that I'm the most intrigued by. It's a Formula One racing romance with an Irish hero, and I believe it's one of her like early books, and like I think it was originally indie published. So I think this is the one that I'm going to like the most. But I also have My Killer Vacation. I was excited to read this, and then so many of my friends who I have similar reading tastes to were like, that book's terrible. So then I got sad and I haven't read it yet. Next one I have is A Nordic King by Karina Halley. This is the Hello Lovely box edition. I got this in a Hello Lovely surprise box where I didn't know what book it was going to be, and this one is a single dad royal romance. I'm not the biggest fan of royal romances, but I've talked to a couple of friends that said that this one is actually really good, so I really like Karina Halley. I've read 3, I think, other books by her and loved them, so I'm hoping that this one will be one that I enjoy. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Okay, next ones that I have are Rebecca Yarros. I have Full Measures and Eyes Turn Skyward. I don't remember which one's the first one and which one's the second one. But again, I met Rebecca Yarros at a Polycon, and I picked up these 2 because I know that Carrie from Books for Romance loves this series, or at least the first 2 books in the series, and so I picked them up for that. I am actually more interested in this one, which I actually think is the second one, where the heroine has a heart condition. We'll try them eventually. The next one I have is Love Letter to Whiskey by Candy Steiner. This is the 5th anniversary edition, yeah, which has the extra chapters in the back in the dude's point of view. I bought this when Candy Steiner was having her sale for the month of September when she got married. All of her paperbacks were on sale on Amazon, and so I bought it because it was like really on sale, and this book is normally like $35. But I am scared to read this. This one is a very angsty, right person, wrong time situation, and I get really frustrated with those, and so I'm worried about it and how I will react to it. But I did buy the audiobook also in the sale, so I'm gonna read it. Okay, and then I have some random ones. I have Tempting Little Teas by Rachel Brownell. which is one that I picked up at a Polycon from an author who I'd never heard of. Because it sounded interesting. I liked the cover and the author was really nice, and the book was like $10, and so I was like, I should grab one from her because I really liked her when I was talking to her. And this one is new adult. I think it's new adult, and I believe that she like accidentally sexed the wrong person, if I remember correctly, so I think that that will be fun. I believe that it might deal with cheating though, so if that's not your thing, then might be one to stay away from. This one is Just a Fling by Charity Farrell. I have no idea where I got this book. Probably from a used bookstore. But this one is a bodyguard romance with a celebrity. So that sounds fun. Then I have Fear Me by B.B. Reed. I read Lilac by B.B. Reed. Is Lilac by B.B. Reed? And I did not like it. I was one that I was really convinced that I was going to love. It's Reverse Harem Rockstar. And I was so convinced I was going to love it. And then I very much did not like it. But I found Fear Me at Half Price Books. And it was like a signed copy. So I decided to try it and see if I like a different B.B. Reed book. So I think that this one's like darker also, and it's not Reverse Harem. Then the next one that I have is this paranormal MM romance called Lore and Lust by Carla Nicole. This one I picked up at Barnes & Noble because Tori from Novel Life loves it. Okay, so the next one that I have is Meet Me Under the Mistletoe, which is a Christmas anthology. I don't love anthologies. I got this because I was part of Katie Roberts' Patreon when this came out, like last year, I think. And I got a copy for being part of Katie's Patreon. And I read a few of the novellas in it. I read the Gianna Darling one in it, and I read the Katie Robert one. But there are a few other authors in there that I'm interested in reading, so I might just read a few of them and then maybe unhaul this book because I don't need to keep the anthology. Okay, then I have A Lady's Guide to Mischief and Mayhem by Amanda Collins. This is one that my really good friend liked and wanted me to read, so I grabbed it. Then I have Never Have You Ever by Elizabeth Haley. This is a book that I got as like an extra in a book box that I got. And I believe that it's new adult. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I believe the audiobook is available at my library, so I might just try it out and see how it goes. Okay, then we have The Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert. This is a monster romance that I really do want to read. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Then I have Wicked Lust by Sawyer Bennett. This is another one that I got at a used bookstore. And I believe that this book takes place at a sex club. And he is a like bouncer at the sex club, if I am understanding that correctly. Then I have Text Me Baby One More Time by Tegan Hunter. I read one of the books in this series and enjoyed it, and then I read one of the books in the series and didn't enjoy it. So I am intrigued to see how this one goes, but I believe that it's fake dating. Okay, then I have Broken Fighter by Maggie Cole. This is the second book in the Mafia Wars series. I read book 1, which was Ruthless Lover, maybe, and I enjoyed it, so I'm excited to continue the series. I just haven't gotten to it yet. They're mafia romances, and I believe that this one, he is a like MMA fighter, so I feel like that would be good. And I think that this one is Irish mafia. The first one I believe was Russian mafia. I have The Pool Boy by Nikki Sloan. This one I was determined to read in the summer and never got to it, and so now I'm waiting until next summer to read it. But this one is an older woman, younger man, best friend's son romance, so that's interesting. This one says it's close quarters, but it's not. It's actually Neat, and it's a misprint because I have read Close Quarters, but I have not read Neat. This is Neat by Candy Steiner. It's one of the books in the Becker Brothers series, the whiskey series, and I don't know what it's about because the back has the description for Close Quarters. So Then I have Dangerous Temptations by Gianna Darling. This is an age gap ward, guardian ward romance, which I'm very determined to read. I have Say You'll Swear by, or Say You'll Stay by Corinne Michaels. This is a angsty small town romance, which I believe was, yeah, I think it's Single Mom and Second Chance, maybe. I have A Lesson in Thorn by Sierra Simone. I bought this in February when I was supposed to go to the Nashville signing. Sierra Simone was going to be there, and I was supposed to go to it. I had to cancel really last minute, and I had already purchased this one to get it signed by her. But this book is like a poly romance. It's interesting. It's an interesting one that I cannot get like a certified like synopsis for when I ask people what it's about. And so it just intrigues me. I think the cover is like super sexy, and that's pretty much like the reason that I bought this one of Sierra Simone's books. But I have a YA fantasy called The Wicker King by Kay Ingram. Then I have How to Fail at Flirting by Denise Williams. This one I got at a used bookstore. I am intrigued by this one. It's at my library for the audiobook, so I will get the audiobook that way. But I know a couple of my friends have read this and enjoyed this. Then I have Losing It by Cora Carmack. This one I've had for like a million years and I've never picked it up, which is very telling. I just have refused to get rid of it for some reason. I'm usually pretty good at unhauling, but this one I've just had for like literally years. She's one semester away from graduating college and she's still a virgin and she doesn't want to be, and so she has a one-night stand, and then the guy that she has a one-night stand with ends up being her professor for her last semester of college. So it's a student professor. Then I have Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I love House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. It's one of my all-time favorite books. But this one, I was so excited when it came out, but was not emotionally stable enough to read it. It deals with death in a very strong format, and I just was not emotionally equipped to handle it at the time. So I'm waiting until I'm a little bit more emotionally stable to read it. Okay, then I have One Bossy Proposal by Nicole Snow. And this one is, he's a CEO. It's a CEO assistant one, and it's fake dating. And I got it at a used bookstore because it reminded me of Boss Man Bridegroom by Megan Quinn, which is one of my favorite Megan Quinn books. Then here's the other Tessa Bailey book. I have Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. A couple of my friends really love this book. A couple of my friends really hate this book, so I'm intrigued to see where I fall, but again, I'm not sure how I'll feel about Tessa Bailey, and so I'm worried. And I've just been focusing on other books, but I'll eventually get to it. Then I have Hostile Takeover by Lucy Lennox. I won this book in a giveaway. This is an MM romance, and I believe they used to be frat brothers, and now they are like competitors in at work or something. Then I have The Culmination of Everything by Christina C. Jones. This is the Hello Lovely box edition I got in the Christina C. Jones box that they did. And this one is a small town romance that I have wanted to read for ages. I really love the Christina C. Jones that I've read. I've only read like I think I've read 3 of them, and I've really loved them, but I rarely pick her up. I'm not sure why. Maybe just because they're like usually a little bit more on the emotional side. But I very much want to get to this one. It's one of my like 5-star prediction ones. Then I have The Resurrection by Jodi Ellen Malpas. This is one that I got because it was on sale on Amazon for some reason by accident for like $3. And I was like, why is it $3? But I bought it because it was $3. So I don't know if you have to read the others because I think this is book 3 in the series. Yeah, it is Unlawful Men book 3. So I don't know if you have to read the other books in the series. If you know, please let me know. But I have book 3. We're on the last shelf of books. Okay, so we have Broken Miles by Claire Kingsley. I've read all the other books in the Miles series. I skipped this one because it's a marriage and trouble romance, and that wasn't the trope that I wanted at the time when I was reading the series, but I do want to go back and read it. I have the audiobook, and I actually have it on my TBR for November, so maybe I'll still get to it in November. Then I have There Are No Saints, and also There Is No Devil by Sophie Lark. I found these both used, so I had to pick them up. I really love Sophie Lark, but I am waiting until the audiobooks come out for these in order to read them. It is a psychopath romance that I'm very excited to read and think that I will love, but I need the audiobooks, so I've been waiting. Then I have The Heir by Sophie Lark. This is book 1 in the Kingmaker series. I started it and I'm like 25% of the way through it. I started it like multiple months ago, and I still haven't continued, but I'm hoping that I can finish at least book 1 by the end of the year as a goal, so I'm hoping I can get to it. But this is a mafia boarding school romance, and it's friends to lovers. Then I have Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. I've read Credence by Penelope Douglas, and I've read Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, and I loved both of them, but I am not sure how I'll feel about any of the other Penelope Douglas books, but I own Punk 57, so we'll see. Let me know in the comments below if you guys think I will like Punk 57. If you've read it and you know me, what do you think? Do you think I will like it? Because I'm not sure. Then I have Still by Kennedy Ryan that I still haven't read. I read Flow and Grip earlier this year, and I have not read Still yet. I have no excuse. I just haven't read it yet. Okay, we're almost done. Then I have Hookshot by Kennedy Ryan. This one is part of the same series as Longshot. It's the Hoop series. I read Longshot and I actually DNF'd Blockshot. I didn't really like it, so I DNF'd it. And this is the third book in the series, and it's actually the one that I think that I will like the most. It's a lot of people's favorite Kennedy Ryan book, so I'm intrigued to read it. This is an exclusive cover that was from a book box a while ago that I'm obsessed with, so I love it. Then I have Real by Kennedy Ryan, which I'm actually currently reading. I'm buddy reading it, so this I figured I would include it right now because I haven't finished it yet, but I'm currently reading this book. This is also Kennedy Ryan. It's an emotional one between a director and an actress. So, okay, next ones that I have are Priest and Sinner by Sierra Simone. I got these before the covers went away. I did not get a chance to buy whatever the third one's called. I can't remember what the third book's called, but I did not get a chance to buy the third book before the thing went away. So if you have the third book in this sexy man cover, you don't want it, let me know, because I didn't get a chance to buy it before the covers got changed. But these are priest or romances. They're forbidden romances. This is a priest romance, and this one is also a forbidden taboo romance. I'm planning on reading this one still this year. Hopefully I can get to it before the end of the year. It's one of the ones that was like, again, big priority before the end of the year, and I'll read this one eventually. Then I have Sweet Dandelion by Macaulay Smeltzer. This one is a student teacher, I'm thinking. I think he's like her guidance counselor, and I think the heroine in this one is also super like damaged. I think that this deals with school shootings, if I remember correctly. So she's like super damaged, and she ends up in a relationship with her guidance counselor, I believe. Then I have the remaking of Corbin Whale by Rowan Parrish. This one I bought at a Polycon because Desiree from Genki Reader loves it, and the way she was talking about it made me want to read it, and so I bought it, and it actually looks very like wintry, so maybe I'll read this in December. but I honestly have like no really idea of what this one is about. All I know is that she said it was the most fantastical, not fantasy book. So then the last one that we have is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score, which is another one that is on my TBR for this month. It's been on my TBR for like the last 3 months, but it's one that was very, very popular this year. It came out this year and it like was in the Kindle top 10 or Amazon top 10 for like literally months, and I am very determined to read this book before the end of the year. It's a small town romance. I believe it's Grumpy Sunshine. So that is the last one. That's all of the unread books on my shelves. 51 books is the amount of ones that I have unread on my shelves, which is a lot more than I used to have. A lot of these are literally bought in the last 2-3 months. I used to have under 20. So this is a lot. It makes me very stressed actually, because I usually like to prioritize the books that I don't that I haven't read yet, but there are a lot of these here, so that's stressful. But there are the ones that I said that I hope to get to by the end of this year, and then hopefully in the beginning of next year I can knock a whole bunch of these out. But yeah, that's the whole video. That's all of the books that I have on my physical TBR. So please let me know down in the comments below which one of these you think that I should read first, like prioritize, because I am very curious to see which ones are your guys' favorites from this stack. But that is gonna be it for this video. So please like if you liked it and subscribe so you can see more content from me. But other than that, I hope you have a great day. Bye.